Football 101 with Coach Brett Bielema. Brought to you by Carl, the official health provider of Fighting Illini Athletics.
Welcome back to Football 101. Martin O'Donnell joined as always by Coach Brett Bielema. And Coach, we're in a different space this week, the recovery room. Tell us kind of what goes on in here, function.
Literally on my first tour of the building, I was brought into this room. Josh Whitman brought me in, and I thought, what a unique idea. So obviously they can see the chairs, the cuffs that we put on our kids' legs. They put a lot of times you'll come in here and guys will be in here just about a 30, 45-minute window. They'll get a lot of recovery on their legs, have a drop-down screen, have our opponent going during the out of season, during the spring and winter. A lot of times after heavy leg days, they'll come in here. You'll catch them watching ESPN, NFL films, whatever it is. But it's a great room to just add to the influence of trying to recover during the normal work week.
Well, and speaking of kind of rest and recovery, coming off of the second bye week of the season, what were some of the things you felt like you got done? How was that different in terms of the first bye week, and how did the timing set up for you at this point?
Two things. We knew we were coming off a tough three-game stretch of Big Ten West opponents, Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. So to get through that stretch, to have success, now we got in the bye week, we were able to rest our ones, had a lot of development work, and then 2 days we took our twos, who normally don't get as much work as our ones. We made them our ones at practice, so they got a bunch of reps. They were treated as starters. I yelled ones, they entered the game. And that's already kind of happened a few times this year, right? Where the guys have come off the bench and done a lot of really good things, but this is just another added perk.
Well, and you mentioned it right there, but one thing, you get to this point in the season and you're working some of the guys in further down the depth chart, second string, third string, because you never know when your numbers calls. Who's some of the guys, maybe let's start on defense, who have you seen defensively that stepped up and given you some really quality reps there?
Some key guys for us just starting the back end has started immediately. Matt Bailey comes in and does a lot of great things for us on not only sub packages, special teams, but has filled in a little bit on needed basis. Terrell Jennings at corner. You can literally go right down. Kanena Udalaga comes off the bench, does a lot of really good things in our sub package as well as from the line of scrimmage and on special teams. A guy up front that really hasn't had a big moment. He's had a couple sacks. Alec Bryant, a transfer from Virginia Tech. And then a lot of guys, Bryce Barnes, another reliable guy inside. On the offense side of the ball, you saw a guy like Casey Washington make a huge play to keep the chains alive. You saw Reggie Love come off the bench in the Iowa game, have a nice run to kind of finish that task out. Obviously, nobody bigger than Art Sikowski to come in off the bench and do things a little bit to help us win some games. So it's fun to watch these guys kind of get their moment and then capitalize.
Yeah, well, and capitalizing now, we're to the point of the year where you're playing really meaningful football here at the end of October and getting into November. Big game, Lincoln, Nebraska, Mickey Joseph, the interim head coach. They seem to be kind of revitalized here the past month or so.
Yeah, they've gone 2-2 with Mickey. Tough game right out of the gate. They had Oklahoma, but then they got a bye week, and then they came back and took care of an Indiana team by 2 scores, something we couldn't even do. So there should be no further evidence to look at than that. They're a good football team, have some perimeter speed, both offense, defense. Their quarterback's doing a nice job. I think their offensive and defensive coordinators have really done a nice job of adjusting after that transition to kind of more of what they want. They actually transitioned on defense to a new coordinator, and you can see the evidence of Bush and what he believes in. So special teams have kind of stayed the same. They're very dangerous in the kicking game, have blocked a punt, big return. So it's a tremendous challenge this week.
Well, another great Big Ten West road test. So, Coach, thank you for your time, and thank you for stopping by Football 101.
Football 101 with Coach Brett Bielema. Brought to you by Carl, the official health provider of Fighting Illini Athletics.